Awesome stuff, guys. If you've been to any one of my lives, you know that I love to start every session with a prayer. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So if you don't mind, let's start with a prayer. Our good and gracious Heavenly Father, our Lord above in heaven, thank you so much. Thank you for the means that we have to gather together in just sharing what's on our minds and our hearts and learning from one another. Thank you for the resources we have in terms of our phones, our connections, which is the data that we use, or the fiber, or whatever it is. We're just really grateful for those means, dear God, and also for the time. I mean, things could have just swooped in and gotten in between us and the session, but they haven't. You haven't allowed them to. So I'm very grateful for that. I just pray that whatever I'll be sharing may be inspired by you. And if there's anything that is slipping my mind that you may remind me, if there's anything you want me to add, I just pray that your Holy Spirit may lead me as we're about to have this session. Otherwise, I pray, dear God, that you be here and you be with us all, tug at our heartstrings and speak to us individually. In your wonderful name, I pray. Amen. Okay, dogs. Guys, so I just wanted to talk to you today about, or on a topic or title called The Reason You Aren't as Impactful as You Want. And I've got my notes here because I don't want to forget the things that I have been thinking about and the things that I want to share with you. Let me see if I can't just spotlight myself. I don't know how this thing works. It's so annoying. I'm using my phone today. I'm not using my laptop, so everything is just confusing. Okay, but it's fine. Let me just go ahead and speak. Okay, cool. So I've been thinking a lot, you guys. I've been thinking a lot about impact. I've been thinking a lot about what sets people apart who are very impactful from those who are barely scraping the surface, you know? And I've been looking at my own life as well, of the places that I've been really influential in, really impactful in, and the places that I haven't been impactful in. And I really just wanted to share my hearts with you, share my thoughts with you, and help in some mindset shift or paradigm shift that I've been having and that I believe will be very beneficial for everyone. If you're hearing noises, it's the thunder that's rumbling. The weather's quite shady in these parts, so please do excuse that. Okay, I want to start off by saying this. You will only have maximum impact when you're in the right place, when you're in the right setting. Okay, and here's what I mean by this. I believe that a lot of people have no impact because they're inapposite. And I'll say this directly to you. You do not have the impact you desire. You do not have the impact you want because you're inapposite. And let me talk about what being inapposite means. Inappositeness, I'm going to read it here, is a quality or state of being unsuitable or unfitting. The quality or the state of being unsuitable or unfitting. You are not seeing the impact you want to see. You're not having the impact you want to have. You're not as impactful as you desire to be because you are in a state or quality of being unsuitable or being unfitted. Now, I want you to think with me through some of the parts that make up a car and some parts that make up an aeroplane, right? And maybe parts that make up a bicycle. If you put the parts that are in a bicycle onto a car, chances of that car operating well are slim to nil, like very slim to nil, right? And there are parts in a car that if you do have in a car, your car will do magic. It will do wonders. It will surprise you, right? Or your sports cars, your fast cars, your supercars. They've got parts in them that are suitable for their function and what they're meant to do. If you take those same parts and you put them in an aeroplane, what are the chances of that aeroplane taking flight or that aeroplane doing exactly what it was designed for? Again, slim to nil. So you find in a lot of cases, in a lot of people, that they've got these qualities, they've got these gifts, they've got these things in them, right? The knowledge or whatever, or maybe even the passion that is would be great for an aeroplane to take flight, but those same parts are being used in a car. This is where you're being inapposite. And in that car, you're wondering, why is it not moving? You've got stellar parts. You've got amazing parts. And it's just not happening. The car's not moving. The car's not gaining traction because the parts that are meant to be in an airplane are now being put in a car, and the car is struggling. The same parts would do wonders in an airplane, but in this car, it's just not working out. So it's not that you have no use or no place, or that your parts are insignificant and will never work. It's just where they are is not the right place. So your function, or the function of your parts, or the function of your whole as a human being would be perfect elsewhere. And I want to share my own experience, right? My own journey, because I think that's when it will land better, and it will be more relatable and more resounding. So I left the mining industry in 2017 rather, to join the bank. And although I knew that the bank was not the end, it was a means to an end, I had to make it work, right? I was employed. My employer had faith in my abilities and in what I would do in the bank. So I was employed in the beginning, I was an analyst in a sales team. So here I am doing the work. And in the beginning, I was great. I mean, I was fueled by a lot of passion. I was still very young. I'm still young, but I was relatively young then. I was fueled up, wanted to make an impression. I was just fresh out of varsity, and I wanted to break whatever stereotype about varsity kids who think they can change the world. I just really wanted to be able to change the world, right? And so there I am in the bank doing good work. And then the consciousness of the fact that I'm in a posit in the bank kicked in. I realized that I've got these skills, I've got these gifts, I've got these talents, I've got these strengths, but they're just not working that well here. And it's not that they don't work at all, and I'll share with you how I found that they actually do work. So time goes on. In 2018, I do well. 2019, I do well. 2020, we all slip into, or it's not like we slipped because it was an accident. We all then get trapped into this pandemic, right? But work didn't stop. We took work home and we did the work and all of that. But I was getting more and more and more disengaged. 2021, no difference. More and more disengaged, because I knew inside of me that there is something better, something bigger, and the things that I am, the things that I'm capable of doing, just don't make sense for the space. And so it was at the end of 2020, the beginning of 2021, when I sat with my manager. It was time for performance reviews, or for performance rating. And I was rated good. I took issue with that. I was like, good. So the scale, I think, is outstanding, very strong. I think is also very good. I think it might be strong and then good. I'm not sure. But there might be something above outstanding. Maybe it's very exceptional. I don't know. But in the first year, I was rated as very strong. And then I was strong. And then good. I was offended. But then I quickly sat back and I thought, you can't be offended, because the truth is, here, you're good. That is who you are here. And as if that wasn't enough, then we're having a conversation about bonuses. And I was told, you're not getting a bonus. I could not believe it after having enjoyed 2 years. 2 years of getting a bonus. This time I was told, you're not getting anything. And not because the company was struggling because of COVID. No, we did well, irrespective of the fact that everyone was home and the whole world was in a pandemic. We did well. But I got no bonus. And again, that offended me. But then I thought, your parts could be perfect elsewhere. Here, you're good. Here, you're in a posit. Like, there's nothing wrong with your rating. It's reflective of exactly where you are for the person that you are. And the reason I got offended was because on the side, I was running my own business, right? I've just taken clients in the year 2020 and I was doing really well. My clients were seeing results. They couldn't stop praising the work. They were mind blown by the things I was sharing with them. Things were great. I was doing really, really well in my business. I was adding really great value in my business. And so knowing how great I am at coaching, knowing how great I am at teaching, to be told at my 9 to 5 that I'm good, really hurt me. To be told I'm not going to get a bonus really hurt me, because I know I'm outstanding in the work that I was doing under Purpose Practitioners Club. I knew that my clients were having the time of their lives. Their mindsets were being shifted. Their knowledge was being expanded. They were getting a clearer understanding of themselves, a clearer understanding of their purpose. They were establishing new professions from this purpose. They were doing really well. But then it made sense that, of course, I'm just good there because I'm in a posit. My qualities and my states are just not suitable or fitting in that space. Fast forward 2022, this year, I get asked to arrange or organize an event for matriculants who are leaving school, obviously, and are about to go into varsity or college or wherever God has a plan for them, right? I put together this program. It's stellar. I presented to the people and culture leader who had asked me to do it. They were mind blown together with the team. They were like, this is amazing. That same presentation I was asked to take to EXCO, to the executive committee. Listen, I'm going to be 5 years in the bank next year in February. In all my 4 years in this place, I have never presented to EXCO, ever. People who present to EXCO, people who've got brilliant ideas, people who are doing incredible work, I had never, ever. I didn't even think it was ever going to happen. More than that, I speak to, so I present to our managing executive, and then we meet our group financial officer, chief financial officer, our CFO. And the managing executive introduces me and another girl that I was presenting with who's a graduate. And it's like, hey, these are graduates. And I was like, whoa, hold up. I've been here since 2018. I'm no graduate. And even in that moment, I was like, I'm getting mistaken for a graduate, but that's how under the shadows I was, right? Nothing about the work that I was doing was outstanding because my qualities and my features in that place, in that space, in those roles made me in a posit. So I couldn't be offended. So this year I do this presentation. They love it. EXCO is like, OMG, we love it. And then 22 October rolls over and I'm hosting. Actually, yes, I was hosting the event. Those kids were mesmerized. They came to me and they were like, yo, you made this event so wonderful. They were asking questions. They thanked me nonstop. Our leaders were so grateful. Listen, even like people I look up to in the bank were just like, girl, that was so amazing. And I know it was amazing because my qualities, my gifts, my talents, my strengths are in that arena and that space. Fast forward to, I think it was the beginning of November. If you follow me on social media, you know this. I was wearing the blue suits. I was moderating a conversation between Unonkululeko Gobodo, who was the first female chartered accountant in South Africa, and also the founder of what was then Gobodo Inc., then became Sizwe Nsaluba Gobodo, and is now SNG Grant Thornton, right? And secondly, the other woman was Umizinga Melu, who was the first woman CEO of Standard Chartered back then, and is now the CEO of ABSA in Zambia. Two prestigious women. People are like, aren't you nervous? And I'm like, no, I'm not nervous, because in my mind, I'm equally as powerful as these women. This is what I know about myself. I know I can hold a good conversation, right? I knew I was going to moderate that thing well. I had an opening and I had a closing and I prepared well, and I knew it was going to be impactful. So I wasn't nervous at all. So here I am doing this moderation. In the end, I lost count of how many people came up to me saying, what are you doing in the bank? What are you doing here? Why are you not on what is the channel? CNBC news channel. They were just like, are you doing the speaking thing professionally? Why are you not presenting? I kept getting different people, as if they had rehearsed the speech, came up to me to say, dude, that was phenomenal. A friend of mine came to me and said, why are you only doing this now? I'm getting emotional. I'm getting goosebumps because I've always known this about myself. when I was young, oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional. When I was young, I dreamt of being a presenter. I dreamt of speaking on big stages. I used to teach kids maths and English when I got back from school. So teaching is in my blood. I wanted to be a psychologist, but that didn't work out. And I became a coach. And I'm understanding now as I'm in the practice that I thought that the work I wanted to do would have been enabled by psychology, but I'm such an empath. I'm such a softie. There was a time I literally froze hearing bad news in my life because I just couldn't handle it anymore. I feel so deeply. I care so deeply. I carry people's pain. I just want to fix things for people, right? And I'm realizing that if I was a psychologist, I was probably going to buckle. I wasn't going to be okay. But my thing was developing people. My thing was helping people transcend into better versions of themselves. The reason I would speak, the reason I would teach when I was young, everything that I did was because I always wanted to develop people professionally, to develop them personally, to help them transcend, to help them become better versions of themselves. That's what I wanted to do. And because I had little exposure, I thought that psychology was the route. But now that I've trained as a coach, now that I'm doing this work, I understand, no, it wasn't psychology. So me not studying what I wanted to wasn't a denial. It was actually a detour, right? It was a redirection. And as a coach, I'm able to do the work of transforming people's lives, transforming their careers, transforming their whole being. So I say all of this to say, after I did that moderation, people were just like, I've never seen anything like this. There were no nerves. You were articulate. I could listen to you speak over and over. In fact, when I started to then interview the ladies, Zinga, who's the CEO of ABSA Zambia, said, OMG, I didn't want you to sit down so soon. I really just wanted to hear you continuously speaking. I did so well. And that is who I am. That is where I shine, right? When I speak, when I express my thoughts, when I express my heart, when I'm coaching, when I'm teaching. That is where I come alive, and I'm developing people, where I am really activating people to take action, where people's mindsets were a certain way before I spoke, and then it shifts to something else, and people are doing better than they expected or thought they could ever do because I had a conversation with them, because I was involved in teaching them, or whatever it is. That is where my qualities shine. That is where I excel. That is where I'm brilliant. You can't tell me anything. And I'm not saying this from a place of pride or from a place of being all high and mighty. No, I'm just that aware of myself, right? But to be rated good, to not be given a bonus, it wasn't a mistake. It was not a mistake. I'm reading a book, and in this book, the lady's talking about how often people talk to God and they cry about, oh Lord, things are tumultuous in my life. My boat is being rocked, or my ship is being rocked. Not understanding that it's actually God that's rocking the ship. That is God that's sending the tempest. That is God that's sending the turmoil in order to get you out of a place where you are in a posit, at a place where your state and your quality are just not suitable and just not fitting. You're crying to God like, Lord, please help me out. And God's like, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help you out of where you are. I'm trying to help you out of that situation. I'm trying to get you to a place where you will thrive. Your parts are not meant for this car. They're meant for this airplane. But because you're putting them in this car, you are struggling to even gain momentum. You've got no speed. You've got no traction. You're not moving. You're not in motion because your parts are not meant for this vehicle. And so I want to say to you, the reason you are not as impactful as you want to be, the reason you're not seeing the change that you want is because you are in a posit. You are in a state of quality where your parts are not suitable or footed for where you are. So here's my challenge to you today. Be a posit, or rather, get into a space where you will be a posit. And let me put it like this. If you want to accelerate your career, you are going to have to be a posit. And here's what I mean by a posit. It's the opposite of in a posit. A posit means suitable. It means well adapted. It means pertinent. It means relevant. It means apt. I often say to people when they tell me, oh, but other people are doing what I want to do. I say to them, if God did not think that there was a need for you on this earth, he would not have created you. And for as long as you live, your purpose will forever be relevant. The reason you are put on this earth, where you will be a posit, it will forever be relevant for as long as you live. Apps. When we talk about apps, when we say something is app, like, oh, that was an apt answer, it means that was the best fitted answer for this question. And we're talking about you here. We're talking about you having an impact, you being a posit, being apt. Like, you couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have said a better word. You couldn't have done a better job. You came just as you were necessary. I hear that a lot. My clients say, in the beginning of the year, I prayed and I asked God to just help me discover my purpose. And here you are doing this work, apt, well adapted. Everything in you fits into the space. Like, guys, when you're out of alignment. I don't even have to say it, or maybe let me use an example that a lot of us will be familiar with. That person that wants you and you want them, but you just know there's no alignment here. Like, there's a lot of friction, there's a lot of clashing. And I'm not talking about the work that needs to get into every relationship. No, I'm talking about, when you're not in alignment. When something is wrong, but you also know when something just fits, where you're just like, where have you been all my life? Or you're thinking, what have I been doing all my life? And maybe you haven't experienced that. Maybe our paths have crossed because you haven't found the thing that just fits like this. I'm telling you, when I speak, when I'm on stage, so my friend at varsity used to say, so we talk all the time. Friends talk all the time, right? You share ideas all the time. You're solving problems all the time. Whenever I'd get off from making a presentation on stage, she would look at me like, I don't know who you are. The person that stands on that stage and the person I interact with every day, I don't know who you are. I don't know you. And I get that sentiment, right? I get where it comes from. Because she just feels like you transform into this person I've never seen when you take the stage. And that's how I am. When I am teaching, I'm completely different. But it's not a bad difference. It's this different. It just fits. Mpumi as a teacher, like this. In fact, when I was younger and teaching in church, because I used to teach even when I was young, the women, all the women at my church used to say, are you sure you weren't supposed to be a teacher? Why are you studying what you are studying? They would say, are you sure you're not supposed to be a pastor? Because teaching and Mpumi like this, coaching and Mpumi like this, I could never have imagined that I'd be a coach when I was younger. But now that I'm doing it like that. So basically, I really just wanted to say, the reason you are not as impactful as you want to be, the reason you're not seeing the beauty or the glory or the amazement or the amazingness that your life was destined for is because you're in a posit. You are in a state or quality of being unsuitable or unfitting. And again, it's not that you have no use or you have no place. There is that place. There is that function where you are perfect, where you are apt, where you are suitable, where you are pertinent, where you are relevant, where you are well adapted. There is that place. And you need to find it, because if you want to accelerate your career, you are going to have to be a posit. There's no two ways about it. There's no shortcut. Maybe there is a shortcut, because I've got a 3-month program where I really take people through my journey and eliminate the things that made me stumble and get them to a place of, listen, this is what you need to do. This is where you need to be. It took me 1.5 years, if not 2 years. I'm still learning, I'm still growing. And as more as I learn, or the more that I learn, is the more I teach and impart and help, so that your journey doesn't have to be hard, so that you don't have to be rated good, that you don't have to not get a bonus for excellent work. Let me tell you, if I was rated on the work that I was doing outside of what my objectives were, it'd be no question. It would be no question. They'd just be like, why are we still asking this question? And I've been receiving such great feedback. I've been hearing such amazing things about my work, where I know I am excellent, where I know I am a posit. That is where I shine. But where I am in a posit, it's not fair on anyone to rate me excellently, because I'm not. I'm competent, yes, because I've been trained, because I'm qualified, but I'm still in a posit. My features, my strengths, my gifts, my talents, my passion, my vision, the things I want to impart and impact this world are in the work that I do, in the work that I do as a coach, in the work that I do as a speaker, in the work that I'm transitioning to do in the coming year in corporate. That is where I'm a posit. And so that's what I wanted to tell you, Uti. As long as you are in a posit, you're not going to win. You're not going to see the impact you want to see. You're going to continuously be told that you're good. I'm speaking to someone who is now a client of mine as of Sunday. And she was saying, at least Mpumi, when you are told you're good. I was told to my face, you're not good. I was told to my face, you're not cracking it. And I know some people have been told that, and I can't have it. I can't have it because I know that there is a place and a space and an environment and a work where you are perfect in, where you are apt in. And I want you to find that place. I help people find that place through Purpose to Profession that is beginning in, like officially in January 2023. But this weekend, we are starting with the discovery part, and it's all going to be recorded. But I love live. The reason I'm on here and I can just type an email is because I love this interaction. I love that you get to ask questions and things like that. And so if you want to really get to a place of a positiveness, where you are apt and relevant and well suited and well adapted and pertinent, I want to get you to that place. And that place for me, I always talk about it, is your purpose, because that's the very reason you're put on this earth. That's exactly why you exist. And so I want to help you. I want to help do the work for you. Please get in touch with me. I send you emails every day. Respond to one of those emails and let me know that, hey, Mpumi, I want to do this. If you've got any questions, let's hop on a call. Let me clarify those questions. But I really don't want you to be doing work that doesn't fulfill you, number one, to be doing work that is not impactful, which is why we're having this conversation, and to not even be rewarded as well as you ought to because of not being in a position of a positiveness. And so, yeah, that is all I wanted to share with you. If you've got any questions, then we'll look at the time. It's actually past, and I said we wouldn't even take more than 30 minutes. But if you've got any questions, please shoot those questions to me. You can unmute yourself. You can send them in the chat. But let's just talk about what I've spoken about. I see Jade saying, you were also hidden for a reason, Mpumi. I was. And I guess because we're Christians, we believe that all things work together for good, right? But I also do believe that I was hidden because I was in hiding. It wasn't because God was hiding me. It was because I was the one who was hiding myself. And I'll talk about that another time. But sometimes we attribute the slowness of our journey, or we attribute not getting there as fast as we needed to, oh, God knows what he's doing. But at times, it's not even about God. It's just about us. We don't act fast enough. We don't invest when we ought to. We don't take up opportunities when they're presented to us. We slack. We know that something is missing, but we don't go looking for the piece that is missing, So I was hidden. But it wasn't because God was hiding me. It was because I wasn't hiding. I was hiding the real me. A man who had seen me in 2019 when I was still in sales came up to me. In fact, he came up to me maybe 2 or 3 times on separate occasions, separate times that day after the moderation. And he's like, you're not the girl that I saw in 2019. Where have you been hiding this girl? In fact, there's another man, I think he now works in Zambia or Ghana, I'm not sure, but he's in ABSA as well. And he came up to me and he says, you are phenomenal. I can't believe that this is you. When I was a graduate, he was sitting close to me and he says, I used to think you're timid and shy. But what I saw today and what I've been seeing on LinkedIn, on your profiles, it's a different girl. What changed? What happened? And I said, nothing changed. I just came out of hiding. This is who I've always been. And I found that I can be this person in and out of corporate. And when I found that, out of corporate, I established my business and I'm helping other professionals on the journey of coming out of hiding. And I came out of hiding here in corporate and I'm moving to a position that will allow me to be a posit, to do what I know I'm destined and created to do. Nothing's changed. I'm still that girl. The only thing is that I came out of hiding. And I want you to come out of hiding too. So yeah, that is what I wanted to share with you. I'm seeing Upagati say, I joined in late. What is your profession? So I'm an entrepreneur, number one. And in my business, I am a coach and a speaker. What I do and my life's work really is to help ambitious professionals pivot into fulfilling careers with more impact and more income by simply aligning their purpose to their profession, and get this, without needing another qualification. Because I think this is what stumbles a lot of people up, right? They're just like, I want to be this, but it means I need to. No, you don't need another qualification. And I'll speak about that maybe on Thursday. If you guys are keen to have a chat again, I'll speak about your qualifications and your purpose on Thursday. So that is what I do. In the bank, I was initially hired to be an analyst in a sales team. And then I moved into product development. So my current title is product development specialist, but I'm moving in the new year. I'm moving into a more talent development and leadership role where I get to develop people, where I get to harness the talent in people, where I get to, oh my gosh, where I get to help people become a positive. That is what I do. I hope that answers your question, Pagati. Any other question before we dial off? I'm really grateful that you guys joined. I have recorded this. I'll put it on my YouTube channel for those who couldn't join, but also for those who want to listen to it over and over and over again. You're welcome to. If there aren't any questions, I'll just give it another 1 or 2 minutes. If there aren't any questions, then we can hop off and have a great evening. Are there no questions? Are we good? Did the message land? Are you clearer on why you are not as impactful as you should be, as you want to be, as you desire to be, as you've always hoped and dreamed you would be? It is because you are in a posit. And that is a quality and state of not being suited or unsuitable and unfitted. I need you to become a posit, because once you become a posit, once you are a posit, you will accelerate your career. You will be doing things that you never ever thought you would do. Maybe you did think you'd do those things, and that's why you're feeling like, OMG. It's because you know the things you're destined to, but you just can't seem to get there. Be a posit, and you'll see your career accelerate. And if you want to work with me for the month of December, January, and February, maybe until March, because we've got a challenge, please, I invite you to Purpose to Profession. Reach out to me. Let's talk. Reach out to me, let's talk, and let's see how we can get you in the program and get you onto a state of a positiveness. Otherwise, it was great chatting to you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Good night.
Thanks. Bye.